Hey, Andrea. So let's start in a comfortable seat right now. Oh, the music just turned off. Okay. So let's start in a comfortable seat. Take a moment to literally ground your body as you press down firmly through the left and right sides of your sitting bones, lifting up through the center of the spine. Don't mind Rack peeking in over there. And then maybe close your eyes. Just take a moment to settle in. Beginning this late morning yoga with tuning into what's going on in your body this morning, your mind, your emotions, how you feel energetically. As you bring more attention to the way you're breathing. Allowing yourself this hour to ground in whatever needs to be digested in your experiences so far. And to perhaps find some relief in being fully present with mind, body, breath connected. As we know that anxiety and fear is much about trying to think about what's going to happen next or the future. So let's give ourselves a rest in planning ahead and really just nurture the joys we can find in the present. Allow the breath to come in more fully, taking your time to appreciate the full length of the inhalation and how it stretches the walls of your lungs, the belly. Feel the exhale as you begin to whisper it out like you're fogging a mirror through the mouth. Grounding through the sitting bones as you breathe in. Feel the breath rise through the belly, the lungs, the upper chest. And again through the mouth, sounding the breath like a soft ocean wave. Allow the belly to gently hollow as you breathe out. Let's add a count as you inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing for 2. Relax the shoulders. 1. Through the mouth, exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 2 and 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now just allowing the breath to smoothly transition as you feel the equal length of inhalation and exhalation. Joining your hands together at your heart. What is your inspiration for today to help keep you at a positive mind? To take things one breath at a time. Perhaps clarify an intention through this practice. And together as a community, let's join in voice, the vibrational sound of Om, sealing our intentions together. Take a deep breath. And now as you continue to lengthen the breath in and out, close the lips and start to warm up your body as you gently narrow the back of your throat, inviting a soft whispering sound to track the balanced breathing. Using this breathing technique, Ujjayi Pranayama, release your hands, gently open your eyes, and let's begin lying down on your back. So as you lie down with knees bent, step your feet apart, hips distance. Bring your arms straight down by your sides so that your arms graze your side ribs. Have your feet where you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Parallel the feet with toes spread. And we're going to take one round of moving bridge pose, just one cycle of breath. Then we'll hold bridge the second round. So as you ground the shoulders, tilt the chin slightly away from the chest. And with a very long inhalation, slowly lift the pelvis off the floor, lengthening your thighs to parallel point forward, lifting the heart as you broaden the collarbones. And with an exhalation, slowly lower the upper vertebrae, middle spine, then tailbone last. Keeping the thighs parallel, the feet parallel, let's prepare to lift and hold for your own count of 5 to 8 full breaths. As you press down through your feet, lifting the hips, slide your upper arms closer together underneath your back ribs. And while keeping your arms straight, if your hands easily touch, you might interlace the fingers, but without flaring the elbows apart. And as you ground the backs of the shoulders, tilting the chin slightly back, feel the open space at your throat. Without actually moving your feet, energetically drag them towards your glutes. So to wake up your hamstrings as you lengthen the tailbone forward towards the space between your knees. Feel the full expansion of your lungs as this posture physically helps. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. And when you feel ready to use an exhalation to articulate, releasing one vertebra at a time. And once the pelvis meets the ground, splay your arms wide apart and lift your bent knees so that your shins are parallel to the floor. So have your knees hover right above your hips. We're going to become more active in the side waist here with a moving twist. So keeping both shoulders planted, arms wide apart, palms face down. Lengthen and find the natural curve of your neck. As you breathe in, let your tailbone lengthen actively more forward towards the front edge of your mat. Belly slightly firms in. And as you breathe out, slowly lower your knees to the right to hover just off the ground without collapsing. Keeping the left shoulder rooted, stay here. Then inhale, straighten the legs to whatever degree you can maintain your balance. Then exhale, bend the knees again. Inhale, slowly lift the knees up to center. Keep both shoulders down and exhale, slowly hover to the left side, off the ground. Inhale, straighten the legs to whatever degree you can balance. Exhale, rebend the knees. Inhale, lift the knees up to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Really nice, keeping a balanced breath. Inhale, lift the knees, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Let's take one last round. Exhale to the right. Really nice and controlled. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. And then catch hold of your bent knees with your hands and just gently rotate your thighs apart and back together again a few times. Warming up your hip joints, massaging your glutes and lower back against the floor. Breathe in. Breathe out. Switch directions. Then as you draw your knees together into your chest, start to roll forward and back or side to side, any way that feels good as you're massaging your back and creating momentum to eventually rise up. Place your hands on the floor at the top of your mat and come down to all fours. Set your knees right under your hips. Set your wrists a couple inches in front of your shoulders. Spread your fingers flat so the index fingers are parallel, pointing forward. Then tuck your toes with very bent knees. Lift your pelvis as high as you can, drawing your sitting bones back to feel as if you have a flat back. And then take a moment in this downward dog to shift around any way that feels good. To warm up the backs of your legs, you might slowly pedal your feet in place. Breathe in. Breathe out. To stretch into the side waist, the outer hips, you might swivel the hips left and right. To release any tension in the neck, you might softly shake and nod your head. So as you ground through fingers spread, root down especially between your thumbs and your index. While straightening the arms, rotate the outer sides of your upper arms or triceps downward towards the floor. Lifting your hips as high as you can, lift the shoulder blades onto your back ribs, releasing the neck. Look towards your feet. We're here for a few more breaths. Feel free to bend your knees as much as necessary to feel the full length of your spine as you firm the belly towards it. Firm the fronts of your thigh bones back, and let's take one more deep breath. Inhaling, shift forward into plank pose, top of a push-up, stacking your shoulders right on top of your wrists. You always have the option of lowering the knees down for added support, but keep breathing here. Set your gaze on the ground just ahead of your hands. Lengthen the sides of your neck. Continue to rotate the triceps towards the rear of the mat and feel the lift of the sides of your waist, your navel towards the spine. If the legs are straight, continue that straight line of energy from crown of the head, tailbone to heels, firming the fronts of your thighs. Very slowly with an exhalation, glide way forward before bending the elbows back to hug your side ribs. Maybe pause halfway down if possible here as you relax the shoulders back. Then come all the way to the ground. Pointing the toes, press every toenail into the floor. Have your wrists just beside your floating ribs as you bend your elbows to hug your sides. Now, as you keep the feet heavy on the ground, hover your hands about an inch off the floor. Then coil your chest up and feel how much you're using your back muscles to lift the chest. Look slightly down, lengthen the back of your neck. We're in Cobra, this version, for just a couple more breaths. Softening the tops of your shoulders down. Feel the tailbone actively lengthen towards the space between your heels. Then set your hands down lightly and see if you can breathe a little more width across the collarbones. Nice. Then press down to your hands, lift up to all fours or tuck your toes into full plank. Then engage the belly to lift the pelvis back again, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Let's open the mouth here, side out. Keeping your hips leveled or squared. From down through your hands, and inhale, raise the right leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the right knee towards your nose, rounding the spine as you shift forward to plank. Pause and take another inhale to lift the navel so that you can exhale, softly land the foot just inside the right hand. As you come onto your fingertips, if it feels like the ground's too low for them, set your back knee to the floor as we begin a flow. So the lunge can be with knee lifted or knee down. As you inhale, allow your pelvis to sink slightly closer to the ground, chest forward. As you exhale, scissor your right outer hip back towards straightening the right leg as you fold inside of it. Feel the open space between chin and chest. 4 more cycles of breath. Inhale, bend the front knee, just over the heel. Exhale, scissor, right outer hip back, fold, leading with the chest. Breathe in to lunge. Breathe out, scissor, and fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor, and fold. Last round, breathe in. Breathe out. Now as you come back to plank pose, top of a push-up, if you want to add a little more core rigor, try hovering your right foot a couple inches off the ground, flexing it. You always have the option of keeping these on the floor. Remember that. Lift the sides of the waist. And as you exhale, shift way forward, hug the elbows in towards the sides. Either lower both feet and come into upward dog, or come all the way down to cobra like we did before. Inhale, coil the chest up. Engage the belly and slowly lift the hips, downward facing dog. Breathe in, close the lips, smooth breath out. Keeping your 2 hips leveled. Inhale, raise the left leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose, rounding forward to plank. Pause. Inhale, lift the navel a little bit more if you can. Then exhale, softly land the foot inside the left hand. Come onto your fingertips. Perhaps add lowering the right knee. In this lunge, breathe in, extend your heart forward. Breathe out, scissor your left outer hip back towards straightening the leg as you bow inside of it. Keep going. Inhale to lunge, synchronizing movement to your breath. Exhale, scissor, and bow. Breathing in, feel the fullness of your breath. Breathing out, sweet release. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor, and fold. Last time, I believe. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor, and fold. Start to set up for plank, where if you lifted the right leg last time, you might lift the left leg and flex the foot. Inhale in plank. Firm belly as you exhale, glide forward and lower. Cobra or upward facing dog. From down through the feet, coil the chest up using your back muscles. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. With very bent knees, lift your heels and hips high, look in front of your hands. At the end of your exhalation, try holding the breath out. Think of lifting the pelvic floor to walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Forward folds. Feet hips width apart, parallel. Press your hands on the floor, your legs. Inhale, lift the spine, open the chest forward. Exhale, fold. Firm down through the feet. Inhale, circle the arms overhead to rise. Exhale, join your palms to meet at your heart. Sun salutation A. Inhale, sweep the space around you. Exhale, bow towards the earth. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen forward. Step to plank, or if you jump back, lightly land in chaturanga, which is halfway down. Inhale to cobra or upward facing. Exhale to downward facing. Let's take 3 to 5 breaths, rebalancing in with out. Honoring the amazing purifying power of our lungs. As we appreciate and savor the breath. When you're ready, bend your knees, look forward. On emptied breath, lightly land at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Circle the arms. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to gather your heart. So from here, turn to face the wide width of your mat. Stand at the middle and open your arms like a T. Then step your feet apart, about as wide apart as your hands. And in this wide stance from your hips, rotate your legs and pivot both feet so that your left foot is your front foot. Aligning your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Feel your 2 frontal hip bones. Try to maintain them balanced so your pelvis is upright as you bend your left knee to stack just on top of the heel. Now feel that turnout of your left leg at the hip. The outer hip is slightly rotating under your body. Balance that off by firming the top of your right thigh bone back as you see your right knee and toes slightly facing your left foot. Now as you reopen the arms, restack your wrists above your ankles and soften the shoulders down. Imagine breathing in from the base of your spine, creating more space between each vertebra to your crown. And as you breathe out, follow that breath down the ladder of each vertebra. Inhale, Steady the gaze just past the left hand. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Deep inhale. For stability. Now with straight legs, slide your pelvis towards your rear leg or your right foot and reach the left hand beyond your left knee so as to lengthen the left underside of your torso. As you decide how high or low to place your left hand on your left leg, or maybe to the floor or block just outside of that leg where your arm can press against the leg. Now as you raise the right arm to stack the wrists in one line, lengthen the crown of your head past your left toes. Hug the bottom of your front ribs towards your back. And if it feels okay on your neck, look up past your right thumb. Maybe add a slight spiraling of your chest towards the sky. Breathe in, feel the groundedness of both feet. Exhale, 5. Inhale, tailbone lengthens towards right heel. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Uddita Trikonasana. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Last breath here. Root down through your feet and inhale to rise all the way up. So with this wide stance, rotate from your hips, your thighs, pivoting your feet to face the opposite edge of your mat. So with your right foot as your front foot, align that heel to the arch of your left foot. With your 2 frontal hip bones generally equal in height, bend the right knee just over the heel. Through the turn out of your right leg at the hip, feel the right outer hip slightly wrap underneath your body. Balance that off by firming the top of your left thigh bone back. Left knee and toes are slightly facing your front foot. As you reopen your arms, restack the wrists above your ankles. Visualize breathing in from the bottom of your spine up to your crown. Breathing out from crown down. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Steady gaze. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Find some edge to soften. Inhale. Exhale, straighten both legs for triangle. Perhaps shorten your stance a couple inches. With arms wide, legs straight, engaging the fronts of the thighs. Slide your hips towards the rear edge of your mat, reaching the right hand past the right knee before setting it down. On your leg or just to the right of it, find a height that allows you to continue to lengthen both sides of your torso, left and right. While stacking your wrists in one line, press the shoulder blades down your back ribs. Turning the chest slightly towards the sky, you might be looking up towards your left thumb. Remember, if anything doesn't feel okay in your body, adjust it. Modify. Breathe in. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Draw the right hip crease towards left heel. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Last breath. Exhale, press to your feet. Then inhale, rise up. Let's step both feet to the top of your mat. So as we break down Sun Salutation B into a semi-flow, we'll establish the route. So at the next round, we'll take it continuously, one breath each posture. So let your feet come to touch, preparing for chair pose. Then as you bend your knees to touch, if you're looking for more rigor, try grazing the floor with your fingertips and keeping your hips that low. But glide your shin bones far back enough that if you look down, you could see your toes. Then lift your arms just to the height that allows you the most length in your neck, relaxing the shoulders as you look forward. Hug in, the bottom of your front ribs, anchoring the tailbone down. Lift the heart, soften the eyes. 2 more breaths in Utkatasana. Breathe in, maybe sink the hips a little lower. Exhale, shift forward to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, press to lift the heart, lengthen. Step to plank or lightly float to Chaturanga, or modify and take cat-cow for your vinyasa at your pace of breath. Arriving in downward facing dog. Breathe in to raise the right leg behind you. Breathe out, lightly step the right foot inside of your right hand. Make sure your feet are hips distance here. Dropping the back heel, turn the toes to face the upper left corner of the mat. Firming down through both feet, hips facing forward. Rise up into Warrior One. As we hold just a few breaths, feel the outside edge of your left heel pressing into the earth as you straighten the left leg, spiraling this inner side of your left thigh towards the rear of your mat. While bending the front knee just over the heel, plugging the thigh bone back into the hip socket, lift the frontal hip bones, and take one more breath. Maybe seal the palms and look up. As you exhale, take it all the way down to your choice of flow. Maybe lifting the right leg as you lower through Chaturanga, or anytime you need to skip the extra movement, go straight to downward dog. Notice your breath. From downward facing, inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, softly land the foot inside of your left hand. Make sure your feet are hips width here. As you plant the back heel down, toes are slightly facing forward. Both hips equally facing forward. Root through your legs and rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. With both feet entirely on the floor, even the back heel, feel your back leg straight as you bring the right outer hip slightly forward. Feel the front knee bent just over the heel as you tack the left outer hip back. Pelvis upright. Feel the full length of your spine as you relax the shoulders. And maybe seal the palms and look up. On an exhalation, come all the way down into your choice. Vinyasa, cat-cow, or straight to downward dog. Remembering you always have a choice in how you make the physical practice intense. Take rest, led by the signals of your body sensations and any shift in your breath patterns as we try to maintain a balance in the breath, balance in the mind state. Now with bent knees, look ahead of your hands. On emptied breath, lightly land at the top of your mat, forward fold. Feet touch. Inhale, lengthen halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, knees touch. Bend your knees, sink your hips back. Inhale, chair, Utkatasana. Exhale to rise up. Now let's flow through the same sequence, one breath each pose. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen forward. Step to plank to lower or lightly float back. Whatever, flow or non-flow, to downward facing dog. From downward, inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale the foot inside, right hand, back heel down. One inhale to rise fully, Warrior One. One exhale to lower, Vinyasa or not. Breathe in. Breathe out. Second side, inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale the foot inside, left hand, back heel down. Inhale, rise to Warrior One. Exhale, lower. Your choice. We'll meet in downward facing dog. In downward dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana, give yourself a few more breaths to restabilize your connection between breathing consciously and balancing exertion with a feeling of ease and allowing. your physical body. Then as you're ready, look forward with bent knees. Bottom of the breath, lightly land at the top of the mat. Breathe in to lengthen forward. Breathe out to fold. Adding on from chair pose, bend the knees to touch. Sink your weight towards the heels and join your hands for a twist. Keeping your hips in one line, start to rotate your chest to the right, just a little bit at a time, breath by breath. Got about 5 breaths. As you sink, your hips maybe a little lower, lengthen the spine diagonally forward, twisting as you breathe out. You might add the leverage of left arm pressing against right thigh, arms open, or sitting a little deeper, left upper arm outside right thigh, hands in prayer. Now peek at your left knee and make sure it's not protruding forward of the right knee. Knowing that you're keeping your 2 hips stable, your lower back stable, as you generate the twist with your obliques at your waistline. Take one more breath. Harita Utkatasana. Sink your hips a little lower. Inhale the arms up in chair. Exhale, come all the way down to sit on your mat. Extend the left leg forward, flex the foot. Place the right hand behind your pelvis. We're gonna double up the twist. Use your left hand on the outside of your right foot to pick up the foot as you kick the leg towards straight. Doesn't have to be completely straight. More important that your spine is upright and the shoulders are relaxed. Inhale, ground through your 2 sitting bones and lift up through each vertebra. Exhale, continue the same twist. Turn the rib cage. Maybe reach the right arm towards the back, off the ground. Maybe look towards your right thumb. Couple more breaths here. Start to look at the front of your mat. Lower both feet, bend both knees, extend the arms forward, and very slowly lower one vertebra at a time. Core stability. And once you come all the way down, straighten the legs, straighten the arms overhead, point the toes, take a big exhale to cool off through the mouth. Then catch hold of your backs of your thighs with bent knees and start to rock and roll forward and back or side to side. Build some momentum so we can land in chair pose. Right up at the top of your mat again. Nice. A little ninja move. So as you sink your hips back, join your hands at your heart. Breathe in. Lengthen the tailbone down. Exhale, twist at your waistline. Turn to the left. Breathe in. Maybe sink the hips a little lower. Exhale, deepen the twist. Perhaps add the leverage of the right arm. Arms open. Hands in prayer. Peek at your right knee. Make sure it's in line with the left knee. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. A couple last breaths. Harita Utkatasana. Relax the jaw, soften the eyes. Sink your hips a little lower. Inhale the arms up in chair. And then exhale, slowly lower your pelvis to sit again. Extend the right leg forward straight, flex the foot. Place the left hand behind your pelvis on the floor. With the right hand catching hold of the outer left foot, flex the left foot, extend the leg forward off the ground. Sit up tall by rooting down through the pelvis. Relax the shoulders, breathe in. Same place at your waistline, exhale, twist, same direction to the left. Maybe raise the left arm towards the back of your mat, maybe look at it. A few more breaths. Feel the simultaneous rooting down through the pelvis, even through the shoulder heads, and rising up through the center of the spine, through the neck. Now take your gaze forward, bend both knees, set both feet on the ground. We're gonna add a little something here, a little boat pose, yay! Navasana. So boat, so many ways to practice it. If you like added support, you can bring your hands to the floor as you lift the legs up like this, or you can catch hold of the backs of the thighs, or no support, more rigor, arms forward or legs straight. We're gonna be here for 7 breaths. So as you set yourself up, draw the navel in, lift up through the heart, relax the shoulders, focus on your breathing. Imagine you could breathe into the base of your spine. Inhale there. Exhale 7. Into your lower belly, inhale. Exhale, 6. Feel the serenity of the breath. Upper belly, inhale. Exhale, 5. At your heart center, inhale. Exhale, 4. At your throat, inhale. Exhale, 3. Between the eyebrows, inhale. Exhale, 2. Above the crown of your head, sit tall. Then exhale, slowly lower your feet and drop your knees open. Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together to touch close to your pelvis. Catch your outer feet or your big toes. And as you ground to the pelvis, lift your heart, open your throat, and extend forward to the heart as you bow slowly from your hips. If you like, you can add reaching the arms forward or crawling the hands to the left for a few breaths for a side stretch. And then to the right for a few breaths. Keep grounding heavily through the pelvis. Breathing in slowly, matching the breath out. So whatever circumstance arises, sometimes unpredictable, sometimes challenging, utilize the power of rebalancing your breath to find a feeling of groundedness. Lead with your chest through center and breathe in to slowly rise up. So as you cross your shins in front of you, plant your hands in front of you, option to float back into chaturanga if you're looking for that extra rigor, or step back to plank. We'll eventually meet in downward facing dog, whether you add a vinyasa or cat-cow or not. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee, turn open at the hip. Lots of options here. You could stay right here and tack the left hip back as we open the inner thigh. You could roll out the right leg at the hip socket. If you're feeling strong in your core and shoulders, you can flip it over into a tripod back bend, stepping the ball of the right foot outside the left edge of your mat, leaning on the outer edge of the left foot flex with left leg straight, coiling the chest up. Then sending your two hands to the ground again, raise the right leg behind you and square the hips, breathe in. Exhale, step the right foot directly between the hands, spin the back heel down, align right heel to arch of left foot like warrior two. We're setting up for side angles, so roll this right outer hip underneath the body and either press right forearm to right thigh or bring right arm outside of right leg, fingertips on the ground or a block, raising the left arm up. Now, feel whatever sensation there might be in this right side of your lower back. If it feels compressed, come up a little higher with your torso. Instead of using your right forearm on your thigh, you could also use your hand. Draw your tailbone back towards your outer left heel. And as you firm your outer left heel into the floor, let's rotate the left tricep to face the left wall and raise the left arm overhead towards the front of the mat. Drawing both shoulders down the back. Turn the chest, if you can, slightly towards the ceiling. Perhaps look up past the left elbow. A few more breaths here in Utthita Parshvakonasana, extended side angle pose. Now, if the right arm is outside the right leg, press against the outer right thigh and feel both press against each other as you hug the right hip in towards your body. Half moon pose. To transition, you might place the left hand on the left hip. Steady your eyes on the ground just in front of your right foot and walk your right fingertips 6 inches forward of your right pinky toe to the right corner. Drag your left foot forward and flex the foot as you lift the heel to the height of your hip. Now, like earlier in Warrior Two, draw this right outer hip slightly under your body and direct it towards your left heel. As you're flexing your left foot, imagine you're pressing that foot actively against a wall. Feel how solid that leg is helping you balance. Any variation you want to explore. Look up towards the left hand, join the hands in prayer. Or full moon, bend the left knee towards the belly and catch the foot, using the counter forces of a bow and arrow, coiling the chest open. Whatever variation, how's your breathing? How's your connection to a feeling of centeredness? Now When you decide to land, re-extending the left leg, very softly step the left foot back into Warrior Two. And once there, straighten both legs, reverse triangle. Flip the right palm up, sweeping it overhead towards the rear of your mat. Left hand gently lands on the left leg. As you open the right side body, from down to the feet, imagine you could breathe a little deeper into your right lung. As you relax the shoulders down, let's take one more inhale. Then exhale to cartwheel your hands to plank, optional flow, or simply step back to downward dog. Anytime, take your rest, whether child's pose or sitting down. Let it be a priority to feel a balance in your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. And when you found your way back to downward facing, inhale, raise the left leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the knee and open at the hip. Now, any variation here, you can stay in this position, tacking the right hip back. You could circle the left leg at the hip. You could flip it over into tripod back bend, so the ball of the left foot lands on the outside of the left edge of your right edge of your mat. Coiling the chest up. Be sure to draw the right shoulder blade down the back. And slowly meeting in three-legged downward facing dog. Square your hips. Inhale there. Exhale, softly step left foot in between your hands. Set up like Warrior Two in your feet. Left heel intersects the arch of the right foot. Wrap the left outer hip under your body. Side angle pose. Either press left forearm on left thigh as the right arm raises up, or bring the left arm outside the left leg, pressing against the leg, fingertips on the ground or a block. Now feel the left side of your lower back. If you feel any compression there, come up a little higher with the left hand. You can even use the hand to press your thigh. Direct your tailbone to actively reach towards your right outer heel. And as you firm down through right outer heel, solid in both legs, wrap the right tricep towards the right wall and sweep the right arm overhead towards the front. As you press the shoulder blades down the back, see if you can spiral the chest slightly towards the sky, maybe looking up for about 3 more breaths. An extended side angled pose. Repeat the Parsvakonasana. Feeling this long line of energy from your right heel to your right fingertips. Transitioning into half moon, taking flight. Look ahead of your left foot, steady your gaze and breath. Maybe bring right hand to right hip. Place the left fingertips upper left corner from the left pinky toe, about 6 inches ahead. Drag the right foot forward and flex the foot, lifting the heel to the height of your hip. Press the left hip crease back towards the right heel and feel your right leg stern, focused, firm. Turn the chest open to the right, maybe raise the right arm, maybe look up. Or any variations like Ardha Chandra Chapasana, bending right knee towards belly, catching the top of the foot, kicking the leg towards straight. As you feel the steadiness of your breath, transition just like that, with that same feeling, to Warrior Two. Straightening the right leg, bending the left knee, and softly landing the right foot to the rear of your mats. Yeah, great transition. Straighten both legs. Reverse triangle, flip the left palm up, sweep it overhead towards the back of your neck. Imagine breathing a little deeper into that left side of your rib cage. Let's stay upright here in this wide stance and just come all the way up, parallel the feet for a wide-legged forward fold. Bring your hands behind you to interlace the fingers or grab a strap to hold between the hands. With feet parallel, breathe in and coil your chest up. Breathe out and hinge forward from the hips, leaning more weight forward, slightly heavier onto the balls of your feet as you drop your skull. Now, feel free to bend your knees if that allows more space in your neck and the rest of your spine so that you're not rounding the back. With elbows slightly bent, lift your arms up and away from the back. Lift your shoulders up and away from your neck. Might feel good to softly shake your head no to release the neck, nod your head yes, or to release the jaw by fluttering your lips a few times. Feel the fronts of your thighs engaged, helping to support your spine. Now, if you have a headstand from here as part of your inversion practice, whether tripod headstand or a different kind or other inversion like dolphin pose, if you prefer to practice that, feel free to add it on for the next few breaths. Otherwise, you can keep it a cooling inversion by lowering your hands. You could even add a twist if you prefer more spinal decompression, raising one arm to the sky for a few breaths and then switching. Perhaps clasping the big toes in Padangusthasana, folding in a little deeper. Be mindful of finding the most length throughout your spine, especially your neck, especially if you're putting some weight on your head. Remembering that in headstand, it's really a lot of your upper body and arms that are pressing into the floor to lift the shoulders away from the neck. Inverting or going upside down, wonderful way to help reboost a lot of systems in the body, but also to reboost our perspective, literally, figuratively. If you're feeling stuck in some way, some blood flowing into the brain. Now take your time if your feet are off the ground. We're going to eventually meet in downward facing dog, facing the front of your mat. So if your hands are on the floor in a wide-legged forward fold, crawl your hands to the front of your mat, coming into a lunge. Step your front foot back into downward facing dog. Setting up for single pigeon pose to open the hips. Some of you might prefer to lie on your back. For the supine version, thread the needle. So feel free to do that in place of this. Otherwise, from downward dog, lift your right leg up, bend the knee and open the hip. Cross the right shin in front of your pelvis on the mat so that you can slide the left leg straight back and sit down. Bring your hands alongside your hips, tuck the left toes, and lift your pelvis off the floor, scissoring the right hip back, the left hip forward. Then if you have a gap between your right glute and the floor, feel free to put something in that gap, a pillow, blanket. Untuck the back toes. And then from here, you've got a lot of options. You can fold forward. You could give your left quadricep a stretch by bending the left knee, scooting it back so you're not putting weight on it, backstroking the left arm and catching hold of the top of the left foot, bringing it closer towards your left side. If you're folding forward and would like to add a spinal twist, stretch your lats and your triceps. You could crawl the right fingertips towards the upper right corner of your mat with the elbow bent up and thread the left arm, palm face up underneath your right bent elbow, resting the left side of your head all the way down, maybe on top of a pillow. Let's take about 10 more deep breaths in whatever variation you're in. And in balancing your breath, feeling presence in your body. Savoring this time and space you gift yourself for nurturing peace within you. Give yourself one more breath on this side. And if you're lying on your back, stay on your back, and you might just want to come into happy baby before switching sides. Otherwise, gently lift your torso upright, find your way back into downward facing dog. You might like to give your right leg a little shake up behind you. Encourage some more blood flow into that hip joint. Then from downward dog to switch sides, Lift your left leg, bend the left knee, open at the hip. Slide your left shin across your mat in front of your pelvis as you slide the right leg back to sit down. Tuck the right toes, place your hands alongside your hips, and lift your hips to scissor the left hip back and the right hip forward. And when they're both evenly facing forward, if there's a gap between your left glute and the floor, put something in that gap. Untuck the back toes. Now you might want to opt for the same variation you did on the first side unless there's something different going on this side of your body. If you reach for the back foot, bend the right knee, scoot it back so your weight is on your quad rather than your kneecap. Backstroke the right arm to catch the foot and gently bring it closer. If you're folding forward and you'd like to add a twist, crawl the left fingertips towards upper left corner of your mat with the elbow bent up, and thread your right arm palm face up underneath your left bent elbow, resting the right side of your head all the way down. Use anything to rest your head on so that it's completely relaxed. Let's gift our minds and our bodies about 10 more deep breaths here. As if the breath itself were a prayer of appreciation. Take your time to come out of this posture. If you're lying on your back, again, you might circle the legs together and apart. Otherwise, you might lift the left leg in downward dog, give it a gentle shake, encourage more blood flow into the hip. So if you're on your back, just flip over to lie on your belly where you are. If you're in downward dog, pass through plank and lower onto your stomach. Set your right ear onto the ground and slide your right arm straight out to the right, wrist in line with the shoulder. Slide the right shoulder down away from your neck and then push the floor away with your left hand, gently rolling over to your right hip. Either stack your feet or add a little more opening into the front of the right shoulder by leaning more weight back, maybe stepping the left foot outside of your mat behind you. You might even explore wrapping the left arm behind you. Maybe your palms touch. Rest your head as much as you can and allow your breath to broaden across the front of your heart space. Take this as our last of our heart openers. Allowing one more breath in on this side. And as you exhale, gently roll onto your stomach. Carefully transitioning your left ear to the floor. Slide your left arm straight out to the left, palm in line with the shoulder. Slide the left shoulder blade down your back ribs. Use the right hand beside the right ribs to press the floor away. And gently roll over to your left hip. Stacking both feet. Find the intensity of this front shoulder stretch. That is just right for you. Maybe step the right foot behind you, leaning more weight into it. Maybe wrap the right arm behind you. Welcome the breath across your chest, into the sides of your rib cage, and into your belly. Breathe into the backs of your lungs too. On an exhalation, slowly roll back to your stomach. Press your hands alongside your ribs. Slide into child's pose with feet touching, knees bent. Widen the knees apart as much as necessary to truly relax your pelvis down to your feet, offering space into your lower back with breath. Inhale there. Into the sides of the lower back, soften the muscles. Inhale through the nose. Take a longer exhale through the mouth, side out. Inhale again. Deep exhalation through the mouth. Place the hands alongside your knees. Tuck your chin to your chest. And as you breathe in, slowly roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Maybe keep the eyes closed here as you slide the legs in front of you. Offering the last position before Shavasana to either be a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana with legs straight forward, or lie down on your back and lift the legs up. Perhaps a shoulder stand if you normally practice that. So I'm going to practice the seated forward fold here. So flex the feet if you're joining me. Feet are hips width apart. Ground the pelvis, lift the heart, and then hinge from your hips slowly. Walking the hands forward to catch hold of the backs of your legs or your big toes. Folding just to the range where you can feel the optimal length of your spine, including your neck, where the shoulder blades are pressing gently down the back, collarbones are broadening, and the throat is open, space between chin and chest. Whatever forward fold or cooling inversion, let's take 3 to 5 last breaths. To help cool down your mind and body, you might count from 5 to 1 as you breathe in, from 7 to 1 as you breathe out, counting backwards. If you're forward folding, lead with the chest and inhale to slowly lift the spine, then come all the way down onto your back. I won't join you there because you're setting up for Shavasana. So find a comfortable way to lie down and give your body stillness and rest. You might drape a weighted blanket over your pelvis, which can feel soothing, or something gentle across your eyes to help relax. Then once the body has landed, perhaps take one last deep controlled breath, holding it in at the top of the inhalation before opening the mouth and clearing it out. With that, releasing control of your breath. Just as you've exerted effort, find the balance of gifting yourself rest for a few minutes here. For the last minute, feel free to stay lying down and resting in Shavasana, or begin to lift your body up to sit for a brief pause, a meditation in stillness. Now, last minute to consciously digest your practice. If you're still lying down, start to make your way up to sit with us, joining your palms to meet at your heart as you sit tall. I'd like to end with just a few ideas that you might already practice for ways to continue to ground and uplift yourself during these times of fear and uncertainty. 1, acknowledge how you feel with honesty and compassion, like through meditation. 2, be in your body through mindfulness practices. 3, make the space and effort to do things you enjoy daily, even the tiniest things like pausing for a cup of tea. 4, declutter and create a feeling of sanctuary in your home environment. 5, start and close your day with a grounding and uplifting intention. There's more, and like I said, though you might already practice these things as we have done in this hour, sometimes it just can feel re-inspiring to hear it again. If you'd like to read more about it, it's on the blog from our newsletter at the beginning of April. Let's join the hands together at the heart, closing the practice like we began, joining our voices in a circle of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to light in you. Namaste.